Hello friends, welcome to my vlog. This is vlog number 60 and we have completed our second milestone, which is 60 vlogs. Well, at least when this one's done it will be. My first goal was to do a 30-day vlog challenge, and then I wrote down a list of topics that I want to talk about. And when I was planning my 30-day, I had so many topics I want to talk about that I made a 60-day list. And so my first milestone was to do the 30 days. My second milestone was to do 60 videos because I had 60 topics. And then my third milestone will be 100. So I have reached my second milestone, which I must tell you I enjoyed, and I did not know if I was gonna see this as another piece of stress in my life to deal with, and it wasn't. I actually enjoy doing this. I figured out an easy process of recording and then posting and doing a thumbnail and stuff like that. So the process I use right now works well. Makes it a small effort in terms of work, very doable. And so on this 60th vlog, I would like to talk to you about I want to tell you a story about my my tires on tires and wheels on my car. I showed you my car. It's a 2004 Honda Pilot. It's our daily driver. It has over 300,000 miles on it, but it keeps running. It works great, no problems. Okay, there's a few little problems, but they're not critical. The car works great, takes us places, AC works, heater works, everything works. So it's an old car, comes with the territory, the things that are not working on it, but they're not important. Anyway, so the Honda Pilot came with alloy wheels, aluminum alloy wheels that after a while started to grow oxidation on the inside. So even when I put on new tires, they were getting low in the winter, especially. As soon as it gets cold, the tires get low. And I couldn't figure it out. For 2 years, I couldn't figure out why this keeps happening. I took it to the tire shop. They looked at it. They looked for a hole in the tires. There was no holes, and they didn't know what to do. So I don't think they really looked. They just assumed there was a hole, and there was no hole. So they told me there was no hole. So after a couple of years, I think this was last year. When was this? Probably last fall. I was like, man, it's getting cold, and I don't want to deal with this year. And I figured out what happened was, like I said, the alloy started growing some kind of oxidation on the inside. And when the tires get cold, they become more rigid and not as soft, so they don't kind of melt into all the crevices of the tire. And so they become more straight, and there's like gaps between where the oxidation is and the lip of the tire or the wheel. And so it started losing air. And basically I was like, okay, it's time to get new wheels. I'm just gonna get rid of these. And I did have the tire shop look at them, and they said that it's not only growing oxidation, it's also creating pits. So there's nothing they can do with the pits. They said that you can grind it down, but that just wears out the wheels and whatever. I don't remember exactly what they said. They couldn't continue to shave them or grind them down to get rid of the pits. So anyway, I was gonna buy some new wheels. I went on their website, found the cheapest wheels they got, ordered them, and when they said the wheels are here, I went to the tire shop and brought the car, left it, and they told me that it'll be ready in a couple hours. They called me in a couple hours and tell me that the wheels that they ordered are wrong size, so they need to go get the right size. So I had to wait some more, which I didn't mind. Anyway, the tires I had on the original wheels still probably had a season on there. But at the same time, what I was doing is I was going to buy some snow tires, studded snow tires. And so when I came back to get the car, trying to remember the details now. I came back to get the car. The snow tires were mounted on the wheels. Snow tires were mounted on the wheels. And then my original tires were missing. So I was like, yo, where are my tires? And they're like, oh, you wanted to keep them? I'm like, yes, there's still a good season on them. So they went and they threw them out. They put them in the garbage pile. So they had to go and look for them in the pile of tires. Finally found them. I was hoping they were the correct ones. And they were. Anyway, so at the same time, I had them check my alignment on the car. And they said that they needed to do a whole bunch of work. The driver's side strut was shot, needed to be replaced. And so I was like, okay, I can do that myself. I can replace the strut myself. I don't want to pay them a bunch of money for that. So I took the car home. I took the car home, and then I ordered the strut. The strut came probably a week later, and I got the car in the garage to install the strut. And I went to take the wheel off. It was a driver's side wheel. I went to take it off. I took the little cap off to reveal where the lug nuts are. And I see there's one lug nut missing. This car has 5 lug nuts. It needs all of them. So I was like, where's my lug nut? So I called them up and I'm like, dudes, that is not acceptable. How can you not put a lug nut on there? It's not like there's 20 of them. It's just 5. And so I brought the car back. The guy ran out with the lug nut and he tried to put it on. Okay, the guy that I've been dealing with at this tire shop, he didn't even apologize or anything. He just said, oh yeah, come on down, we'll fix it. Remember, I'm working. I have to take time off of work to go down there and get this handled. So the guy runs out with a lug nut and the impact driver. And he goes on there and he's like, oh, it's not going on. I think, yeah, I'm trying to remember, keep the story straight. So it wouldn't go on, and he said it's because they cross-threaded the stud, so they couldn't put a lug nut on. I'm like, wow, that is That is crazy. So the sales guy is like, okay, let's get you in. We'll bring it in. We'll get the stud out and we'll replace it for you. I'm like, okay, let's do that. So another few days go by. I take the car in. I leave the car there. I have to have my wife come out with me so that she can drive me home. So then I can come pick up the car later. So I go to pick up the car later. My wife gives me a ride. I come pick up the car. I take it home. And the next day I go to work on the strut again. So I take the cap off and I take the lug nuts off, and that last lug nut will not come off. It's just tight, so tight on there, I can't get it off. And then, with a bunch of work, I got the lug nut off, and I look and see that they did not replace the stud. They just forced the lug nut on it. I was like, are you kidding me? So I call the guy up and I'm like, are you guys joking? Are you guys like messing with me? He's like, oh, so sorry. Yeah, that's not normal. We don't normally do that. Bring the car in and we'll take care of that. So I go again. My wife and I would drive over there, leave the car, go home. They call me when they're done. I get back out there. And so he tells me that they had to take the axle out to get the stud out, which I know that that's what it takes. That's probably why they didn't do it in the first place. But he said that they had to do that. So he's trying to make me feel bad because they're doing all this work for free for me. I'm like, I'm not gonna feel bad about it. You're the one that did it. You guys messed up the lug nut. But anyway, so he said that, yeah, while it was out, they also had to replace a bearing in there because it was shot. I'm like, that's fine. I'm not gonna feel bad about it. That's what you have to do. You have to do it. Anyway, so the entire process, I feel like I am begging them for free work, right? When it should be that they should be apologizing to me for taking up so much of my time for a simple job of replacing or installing a new wheel on the car. Anyway, so I pick up the car, take it home. Trying to remember, there was so much other stuff. I think originally I was gonna, so when I took the car in to get the lug nut done, that second time, the sales guy said, why don't you bring in the strut and I will have them install it for you at the same time as a freebie. I'm like, okay, yeah. So I brought the strut in, and then obviously I came back to get the car. Or no, he calls me. This was before he told me that they had to remove the axle and stuff like that. So he calls me while the car is at the shop. He's like, oh, the strut you have is wrong. It's for the other side. And I'm like, no, it's not. Look at the part number. The part number is correct. He's like, I promise you it's wrong. I'm like, okay. I'm already upset from this whole deal, and now he's telling me the strut that I bought is wrong. And I know it's not wrong. So he puts it together. I go pick up the car. He tells me that they needed to replace the axle, and the axle, take the axle out, replace the bearing, and all this stuff. So I pick up the car and take the strut home. I go to Amazon and look at the part number that on Amazon that I purchased. It's correct. I looked at the part number on the axle itself. It's correct. I go to Honda website that specifies what part number for the strut for this car for the driver's side is, and it's all correct. So the only thing that was wrong is on the strut on the very top, there's this ring with bolts sticking out, 3 bolts that go into your whatever it's called, the frame of the car where the strut goes into. Anyway, so it's flipped the other way. So there's 3 bolts, 1 on one side, 2 on the other, and so it's flipped the other way, right? So it looks like it's for the passenger side. And I know that I'm not even the mechanic, right? But I know that this thing is loose. You can spin it around to wherever you need it. And I was like, I can't believe that they're so dumb. They couldn't even, I mean, they're mechanics. They do this every single day. They should know this, that you can loosen this and spin it the way you need it. They didn't check the part number. They didn't do anything. They just saw that the bolts are wrong, so they tossed it out. So I got the wheel off, I installed the strut, I flipped the thing around, it fit right in, everything else fit, everything had the correct attachments, everything was right. So I took pictures, I sent it to the guy, and I told him, look, I installed this thing, it was correct. Anyway, 0 apologies from this company, 0 apologies from the sales guy. I mean, there was no remorse for any of this crap that I had to go through, the hours I had to spend driving back and forth. There was some other stuff, I don't remember, there was more things. Just from this one transaction with them of buying some snow tires and buying new wheels. Okay, it was all I was doing, and it became this huge, long process. And I was, yeah, that was the last straw. I have not went back to them again. There's another tire shop 2 blocks away from them, and I went there to, what did I do? To do something else with the tires. Anyway, that was the story. I'm not going to mention the company name. I don't want to make problems for them. I'm sure other people, if they get treated that way, they will leave reviews. I was going to write up a big review on Google for them, and I actually wrote it up, and then I deleted it. I'm like, what's the point? I don't want to, I just don't want to create problems. I'm sure somebody else, if they treat the wrong person that way, they will leave them a nice horrible review, and I won't have to deal with it. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Thank you for watching. Please like and share and subscribe and whatever else people say on YouTube. What did I miss? Leave a comment. Yeah, there you go. All right, thanks. See you next one. Bye.